The Backrooms, a place that feels both terrifyingly familiar and utterly alien. It begins with a simple, unsettling thought. What if you suddenly slipped out of reality? What if, in the middle of your daily life, you somehow no-clipped through the floor or a wall, and instead of finding yourself back in the real world, you landed somewhere endless, yellow, buzzing, and wrong? That's the origin of the Backrooms creepypasta, a collaborative internet legend that has grown into one of the most sprawling and fascinating horror universes online. Imagine it. One second you're at work, in a parking garage, or walking through a shopping mall, and the next you fall through the cracks of existence. When you wake up, you're standing in a maze of old, damp carpet, yellow-stained wallpaper, and buzzing fluorescent lights that never stop flickering. The air smells of mold and moisture, heavy and suffocating, and the silence between the humming lights is broken only by your own footsteps. Welcome to Level 0 of the Backrooms. Level 0 is the most famous part of this mythos. It's the first place most people picture when they hear the Backrooms, an endless office-like space but stripped of any comfort or order. The walls are yellow, the ceilings are low, and the layout doesn't make sense. Some hallways loop back into themselves, some lead to dead ends, and some shift when you aren't looking. It's easy to get lost here. The farther you walk, the more disoriented you become. You could swear you've already passed that same stain on the carpet or that same pattern on the wall, but when you try to backtrack, the way is gone. There's no natural light here, no windows, no doors that lead back to reality, just the fluorescent glow that never dims. People who claim to have ended up here report that the hum of the lights drives them slowly insane. It's too loud to ignore, yet too constant to focus on. You can never really rest. Worse still, you're not alone. In Level 0, there are things, unseen, half-heard, moving somewhere just out of sight. Some describe them as humanoid figures with distorted faces, others as shadowy shapes that melt into the walls when approached. They are called entities, and their behavior depends on the level. Some are passive, some are curious, and some are outright hostile. Level 0 sets the tone, but the Backrooms mythos doesn't stop there. It is built around countless levels, each stranger and more dangerous than the last. These levels are discovered and described by survivors. At least, that's how the lore is framed. Different communities have created hundreds, even thousands of levels, but certain ones stand out as the most popular and most terrifying. One of the most infamous after Level 0 is Level 1, also known as Habitable Zone. If you're lucky enough to find an exit from Level 0, you may stumble here. The yellow office walls are gone, replaced by a massive, dimly lit warehouse. The ceiling is impossibly high, the walls stretch for miles, and the air is colder, damp with the smell of rust and oil. Broken machinery lies scattered across the floor, and water drips endlessly from pipes above. Unlike Level 0, Level 1 sometimes contains supplies, crates of canned food, bottles of water, tools, and even clothing. Nobody knows who left them there, or why, but they are a lifeline. However, some crates are booby-trapped or filled with useless junk, and taking the wrong thing can lead to your death. In Level 1, the entities are more active. Faceless humanoids stalk the halls, shadows crawl in corners, and strange noises echo through the darkness. Survivors have reported groups of wanderers who stick together for safety, forming small communities hidden in corners of this endless warehouse. But safety is relative. One wrong turn can lead you deeper, away from the group, and into a part of Level 1 where the lights flicker out completely. And when the lights go out, you do not want to be there. Then there's Level 2, often called the pipe dreams. It is an endless maze of long, industrial maintenance tunnels. The walls are bare concrete, and enormous pipes run along them, constantly groaning and leaking steam. The temperature is sweltering, sometimes reaching over 40 degrees Celsius, making it difficult to breathe. The tunnels twist and stretch into infinity, and the deeper you go, the louder the machinery gets, until it feels like the pipes themselves are screaming. Level 2 is extremely dangerous. Hostile entities are common here, including what are known as skin stealers, creatures that wear the flesh of their victims to disguise themselves as humans. Imagine walking through a dark, steaming tunnel and seeing another wanderer waving to you, only to realize too late that their skin doesn't quite fit and their smile is stretched too wide. Level 2 also contains something far worse. The Thing on Level 2, a mysterious predator that hunts the tunnels. Survivors say you don't see it until it's already too late. Another fan favorite is Level 3, called Electrical Station. Here, the backrooms feel like a nightmare version of a factory. Narrow hallways filled with wires, flickering lights, and humming machinery. Fans spin loudly overhead, sparks fly from broken cables, and every surface feels charged with static. Unlike the wide-open spaces of earlier levels, Level 3 is claustrophobic, cramped, and suffocating. It's said to be one of the most hostile levels, crawling with dangerous entities like the hounds and strange mechanical monsters. Even experienced wanderers avoid Level 3 when possible. But the backrooms aren't only about hostile, industrial nightmares. Some levels seem deceptively peaceful, at least at first glance. Take Level 37, sometimes called Poolrooms. This is one of the most surreal and unsettling environments in the entire mythos. Imagine endless tiled rooms, all partially submerged in shallow water. The walls are pale blue, the water is perfectly still, and everything is eerily silent except for the sound of your footsteps splashing. The air smells faintly of chlorine, like an abandoned swimming pool, and the lighting is soft, almost calming. For a moment, you might feel safe here, but spend too long and you'll realize you're never truly alone. Some claim to have seen figures moving beneath the water. Others speak of voices echoing from deep within the pools, luring you to dive in. And once you're underwater, you may never come back up. There's also Level 188, known as the Windows. It appears at first to be a series of hallways lined with windows that look out into a dark void. Sometimes, however, the void isn't empty. Strange shapes move just beyond the glass, and occasionally they beckon you closer. The danger comes from the fact that not all windows are actually windows. Some are gateways, and if you get too close, an entity can drag you through to a place far worse than where you started. Survivors warn, never trust the windows. Another popular level is Level 94, often called Motion. Imagine stepping out of the industrial hellscapes of the earlier levels into something that looks like a dream. Rolling hills, grassy fields, a red evening sky frozen in perpetual sunset. The houses scattered across the landscape look like something out of a child's drawing. Bright colors, soft edges, almost cartoonish. It feels unreal, like stepping into a painting. But the stillness is wrong. The grass doesn't sway in the wind. The sky never changes. And sometimes, when you look closely at the houses, you'll see shadows inside. Things moving behind the curtains. And if you enter one of those houses, you may never leave. Part of what makes the backrooms so compelling is its sheer scale. Some versions of the lore describe only a handful of levels, but others map out thousands, each with their own rules, environments, and monsters. There are even sub-levels and secret areas. Some levels are safe zones where small communities of wanderers have built camps, trading supplies and sharing survival tips. Others are death traps where nobody has ever returned. The danger isn't just the monsters, but the environments themselves. Some levels shift constantly, some loop infinitely, and some collapse in on themselves without warning. One recurring theme across all backroom stories is the idea of sanity. The longer you're stuck there, the less human you feel. The monotony of yellow walls, buzzing lights, or endless tunnels breaks your mind slowly. You forget how long you've been walking, or even if time passes at all. Some wanderers claim to have been there for years, while others say time doesn't exist in the same way. And worst of all, there is no clear exit. Some levels supposedly connect back to reality, but finding them is like finding a single door in a maze that stretches for infinity. The Backrooms creepypasta became popular because it taps into a strange, universal fear: liminal spaces. Places that feel like they should be familiar. An office, a school hallway, a swimming pool, but are just empty enough, just quiet enough to make your skin crawl. The Backrooms is the ultimate liminal space, stretched out forever, filled with the terror of being lost, alone, and hunted. Since the original image of a yellow, empty office was posted online in 2019, the Backrooms have exploded into one of the biggest collaborative horror projects of all time. Fans have written endless stories, created maps, built video games, and even produced short films about it. Every creator adds their own spin, expanding the mythos further, making it deeper and more terrifying. But at its core, the Backrooms remain simple. You fall out of reality, and you wake up in a place that was never meant for humans. You try to survive, wandering from level to level, never knowing if the next room will bring safety, madness, or death. And the scariest thought of all? Maybe, just maybe, the Backrooms are real. Maybe somewhere in the infinite glitches of our world, there's a wrong corner, a hidden door, a patch of reality that doesn't quite hold together. And if you're unlucky, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you might just slip through. And once you do, there's no guarantee you'll ever find your way back. So, the next time you're walking alone in an empty office building, or wandering through a dimly lit parking garage, and you feel that strange sense of déjà vu, like the walls are watching, like the lights are humming just a little too loudly, remember this: the Backrooms are always waiting.